Hey everybody, a friend of mine asked me what I thought of the Quiet Riot Queensryche show, and I actually had a lot of thoughts about it, so I figured I'd make a video because it has more to do with kind of the current music scene than that particular show, and a lot of this stuff kind of crosses over, but I will say that, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. Let's dig in. So here's Quiet Riot. I got them on the screen now. When I think of Quiet Riot, I know it started with Randy, but they didn't really get that big with Randy, so I kind of will just begin the Quiet Riot era with this original lineup here. Sarzo, Benelli, Dubrow, and Carlos Cavazo. And to me, this is Quiet Riot. And I saw them, met all the guys back in the day, loved the band. They were a great band. Kind of almost a flash in the pan in a way, but they made quite an imprint. Carlos was a great guitar player. Great, they sounded killer. The new lineup looks something like this. They have I don't even know these guys' names, and frankly I don't even care. But there you see Rudy in front, and all I have to say about Quiet Riot was they put on a good show, but the guitar player was terrible. He could not play. I mean, he could not play the solo to Come On Feel the Noise. He could not play the solo for Mental Health. And it was just really hard for me to watch. And I'm not being hyperbolic because, oh yeah, you're a guitar player and you pick everybody apart. It's not like that. I mean, he couldn't even articulate the notes. And he couldn't even I can play these solos no problem. I can even improvise in that style and still nail it. But this guy wasn't even close. On top of that, he looked bored out of his mind. So the drummer and the bass player were solid. Rudy put on a great show. Rudy was awesome. I ran into Rudy in the hallway. He was carrying his bass through the crowd, exchanged a few words with him, told him good, have a great show and great seeing you. And he was very nice and cordial. And then in he goes, just went right in through the front doors, just like everybody else, which I thought was kind of cool. But they put on a great show. They were fun, aside from the guitar player who looked bored and could not play, and the drummer who also looked kind of bored. Rudy and the singer carried the show. Now the singer, he was adequate, but just he was very whiny and thin and kind of just not a very good singer. But neither was Dubrow. So there you go. I think Dubrow is actually better than this guy. So now let's talk about Queensryche. So when I think about Queensryche, I think about these guys: Eddie Jackson, Scott Rockenfield, Jeff Tate, Eddie Jackson, Chris DeGarmo. Did I already say that? Anyway, when I think of Queensryche, I think of these guys. These guys are, for me, probably the best metal band, bar none. Operation Mindcrime was a milestone in metal. And just a great album, phenomenal album. And their earlier albums were great too. Queensryche is just one of the greatest bands ever. Now, this is the version they have now. And they have a different singer, different guitar player, different drummer. And so the original members are Eddie Jackson and Michael Wilton, who both look bored out of their minds. Now, earlier I talked about how the guitar player for Quiet Riot couldn't play. These guys can play. They sounded great, but they bored me real quick. They did Walk in the Shadows. I'm thinking, man, this is just a shadow of the greatness which was Queensryche. And I don't know why they didn't just put the name away and just become something else with this new lineup. It just gets to the point where it's just not Queensryche. It's something else. It's great. I love the new albums. Like their newest album is Digital Noise. Great album. Their last few albums have been just awesome. The Verdict, another great album. I would be fine going to see this band with a new name playing only this music and none of the Queensryche stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, do I got to hear Jet City Woman again? I don't need to hear that song. Do I got to hear Silent Lucidity? Really? And they look bored. That's the thing. I hope the guys see this video, and just think about this. Guys, change your name and do only your music. Forget the old Queensryche era. Maybe do one Queensryche song just for fun. But you're not Queensryche. You look bored out of your minds. You're boring your fans. I mean, I walked around and a lot of people looked bored. It was unreal. At the end of the day, in the final analysis, as I like to say, Quiet Riot blew him off the stage. And I can hardly believe I'm saying that Quiet Riot blew Queensryche off the stage. So, a band with a really bad guitar player. And, mediocre songs at best. Blew away Queensryche. They were funner to watch. They were more engaging. They had more fun. They just had more fun. And, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't waste my time or my money to see this version of this Queensryche. It's Queen's wrong. That's what it is. What Queensryche needs to do is they need to get together with the original lineup. And I've met all these guys. I'm friends with Doug Rockenfield. That's Scott's dad. I met him over in Seattle years ago at a show, and we just became really quick friends. And he would call me up and say, "Hey Matt, the band's practicing this weekend. You want to come over?" And so I would drive over to Bellevue just to go. They practiced at his house, so this is where they wrote Operation Mindcrime. So I'd go and hang out, meet the guys, and I was visiting the dad, so I just kind of left the guys alone. But it was cool, I connected with them, and I really love Queensryche. What I saw Sunday night, December 11th, 2022, was not Queensryche. It was just boring. I don't know what to say, man. It was just boring. And for all you bands, Kiss and a lot of these bands, just stay home. I mean, don't you have enough money? You really need to bore the fans. Do we really need to listen to Paul Stanley, sing horribly as he does? I saw him in 2015. They were great. That should have been it for them. And a lot of bands, man, they just keep going. They put on these boring shows, and they don't have any original members. And I don't know, you guys. For me, it's the era is over. If you can't get on stage and have fun doing the songs, then don't do it. If you're not having fun, don't do it. You know how many bands I quit because I wasn't having fun over the years? I play with Saint now because we're having a great time, man. We have a great time. We love being together. We love writing. We love recording. We love doing shows together. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, there is my analysis of the Quiet Riot Queensryche show, Q&Q. And Q1 took out Q2 with a heavy metal knockout to the jaw. Everybody have a great day.